Glock 45, Glock 43X, big P365, tourniquet flashlight, and EDC S belt that's elastic. I'm gonna be talking about all these, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and hopefully save somebody a couple bucks. So first one is probably my favorite, or was my favorite, Glock 45, model 45, 9mm, and it has the 17 length grip with the 19 length slide. Surefire X300 light, which might be overrated. I got the Holosun. I forget which Holosun it is, but it has the solar top. And then I have the extended slide release, the Glock Performance trigger, and the Overwatch Precision trigger shoe. I swapped out the trigger shoe because a lot of people were having problems with the trigger shoe on the Glock Performance trigger, and people were having problems with the Glock Performance trigger whenever it's getting dirty, it's not resetting, it's getting a little sticky. And I'm about like the 1,000 round mark. I might even be a little bit shy on this, and it's actually sticky, and sometimes it won't reset. It's not snapping forward. See if I can get it. Sometimes it'll like literally pin to the rear. It wasn't doing it when I was shooting, but it's not doing it right now. But sometimes this will pin to the rear now whenever I'm dry firing it, and I might have to clean it or just swap out the triggers. So I really like the Glock Performance trigger. It was probably the best trigger I have out of all of them. It's my best performing trigger. I'll try to pull up some targets if I can, my most recent target. But if it's not resetting, then that's an issue, especially when you're trying to shoot fast. When it's not flying, the reset isn't flying, it's definitely going to mess me up. So it's going to be a tough one. But I'm rocking it in a Tier 1 concealed Access Elite holster. I have some wedges on there. This is, by the way, there's no mag in there. I don't even know. The mag for it's right here. The mag is empty. And then this doesn't. I have the spare mag with a extender on there. I think the base holds 17. This one holds 21, 22. And that is my configuration for this. I wish I had a TLR 7A on this, so, and a TLR 7A holster, so this didn't peek out so much. It's a little uncomfortable, but you just get used to it. And this is also a little wide, so it'll definitely bulk out and not like print. The handle doesn't print too much, but it just like bulks out. So it's a little bit harder to carry. The EDC S belt from Tier 1 Conceal definitely helps with like the elastic, and it brings it in, and the wedges help, but it still is a big bump. Now, probably my most carried gun is this Glock 43X. Now, this is also clear, and there is no ammo in the mag. Now, what we got going on here is the raised extended slide release. We have a Overwatch Precision trigger shoe with Glock trigger housing, but with a Ghost 3.5-pound connector spring. We have the Holosun 407K. We got the TLR 7 sub here, and then we have stock iron sights still. I still haven't swapped them out, but I just changed the battery, so I'm not too worried about that. We have the Shield Arms mag release. It's the metal mag release because I have metal Shield Arms mags in Gen 3. And then I got the Shield Arms magwell, and I pretty much got all that because it was like 60% off Black Friday, and it was a deal. Pretty much got 3 metal mags. I got a magwell and the mag catch, and a lot of people don't rock that in an everyday carry because they want to keep it OEM. They don't want any jams or any hiccups whenever they're everyday carrying. But the thing is, I got like 2,000 rounds through this mag alone, and I got 3 of them, and this one I never had any issues with at all. So that's the one I mark and I keep with my gun and my concealed carry setup. I'm also rocking that with a Tier 1 concealed holster. Again, like here, I got the wedge here. I got cheap wedges off Amazon. I think it was like 2 for 15 bucks. The spare mag is OEM with an extender on, and I am rocking Hornady Critical Defense rounds right here. So that's gonna rock like that, and that's my most carried setup because it's so easy to carry. It's so thin, but I can still get my my pinky here on the gun, and I still got a decent bit of room. If I put my thumb sky high, I got a decent bit of room to push it here and then bring it up to my face. And that is a pretty solid EDC carry setup. Now, what I don't like about the 45 is it's thick, it's big to carry. You should carry the biggest gun you can conceal. And I can conceal that sometimes, but the trigger issues is a little rough right now. I should figure it out. But this gun, I can get, almost pretty full grip. It is snappy. It's still a pretty small gun. But this is very, very easy to carry. It's very thin, and I can get a full grip on it. But this one, the thing I don't like about it is, obviously, and I have an aftermarket mag in there for everyday carry, which isn't ideal. And the trigger, Glock triggers suck. But if you get a Glock and you swap out the entire internals, what's the point of getting a Glock? But I probably am. So whenever I first got the trigger, the entire trigger housing, and the trigger was heavy, and the trigger shoe was killing my finger, because whenever I first got these mags and put them in, I shot 1,000 rounds the first day, spread out between the 3 mags, and my finger was killing me. So I swapped out the trigger shoe and the trigger connector, and still with the new trigger shoe, this is the Overwatch Polydap Precision trigger, and it was like a $40 upgrade, which was worth it. Helped a little bit. My triggers, or my finger, still kills me whenever I shoot this gun. So not the best trigger. I'm a trigger snob. So what I'm going to end up doing probably is getting the Johnny Glock 4311 trigger, which is about $280. And I'm going to throw that in there. And I think once I get that in there, I'm going to, put some rounds through it. And I think I'm going to really like that. Also, another thing is I got the Raise slide release. And it helps because it wouldn't lock back because my grip's so high. A lot of people have problems with that. The last bullet, the slide won't lock back for a lot of people. So you get it raised. The problem with that is it's so high, it's a little bit, I don't know if I gotta train more with it, and it's so close to the slide. I don't know if I like the reloads with this, but for an EDC build, I'm not really worried too much about the reloads, I'm not gonna lie, especially when I have 15 rounds. And I also got this takedown aftermarket to, take it down a whole lot easier. So this is a real nice setup, and the cool thing about Glocks is you can go on YouTube, and there's so much aftermarket support, but you can go on YouTube and pretty much work on it entirely yourself by watching tutorials. And that's what I like about this gun. This is probably my most carried gun. And now the most recent carry is going to be this P365 here. I'm not carrying this too much. One, because I didn't buy this for the P365. I hate shooting small guns, so I didn't buy it to leave it like that, which I'll talk about that more later. But like 3 years ago, I bought this holster. It's been sitting in the closet, and I remember getting the cheapest holster on Amazon. And you can see how much the trigger is exposed here. I'll make sure this gun is clear. You can pretty much, if you see how much the trigger's exposed, I can literally get a finger in there, and the gun's the whole way in. I can literally get a finger in there and pull the trigger, dude. So I don't know if I want to carry that. But I'm not going to get a better holster for this configuration because I'll talk about that here in a second. So P365, I got this used at a gun store for $3.95. And not bad, right? I put on a Siley Cat Pro for an RMSC footprint. That's what this one has. And amazing red dot. I actually like it better than the Hollow Sun. TLR 7 sub for the flashlight. And I just put on some grip tape. But as you can see, I didn't buy this because I don't like shooting small guns, obviously. And I didn't buy it to leave it like this. Pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on an aftermarket lower. Either this one, Wilson Combat, which was $70, real nice for the value, or this Icarus Precision, which is one of their cheaper ones. It has an undercut here, has a big mag well here, and has a gas pedal up here, so you got somewhere for your thumb to go. And this one's going to be real nice, a little bit more aggressive texturing, a little bit bigger mag well, has the undercut, and this one is also really nice. This one has a mag well too. It's not nearly as big, but this one is more subtle, so it might be easier to carry. This one might print a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I only shot this gun a little bit. Oh, I also got the M Carbo trigger in there. You can definitely see the trigger is not the SIG trigger. Just swapped out the trigger shoe. And it's supposed to help with the reset and the trigger travel. Not one of the best triggers, not one of the worst triggers. I would say it's lower than average for sure, but I'm a trigger snob. But I'm going to swap out this lower for one of these. And then I'm going to put the Radiant Ramjet compensator on this. So the Ramjet compensator is going to end up being flush with the light. And everything, the light and the compensator, is going to be flush with this lower you see right here. And it does take a different light. I already got the light ready. So I got the lowers ready, I got the light ready. I'm literally just waiting for the compensator to come in the mail, and then this. And I'm waiting on, I got a tier 1 concealed Axis Elite holster coming in for the X macro. I don't know if this gas pedal is going to get in the way of that. If it is, I have no problem carrying this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to carry both of these. I'm going to shoot both of these. I'm going to see which one I like better, and then I'll probably sell the other one on eBay. But they both feel real nice. I'm not going to lie. This was 70. This is like 130, 140. So if you're on a budget, this one is amazing. Got the magwell built in, so you don't have to buy a magwell. It's real subtle, not too big that'll print. This one got a more aggressive texturing, gas pedal, shoot faster, bigger magwell, reload faster. A little bit for the high speed guys. Got the undercut too, so you can get higher on the gun. These are both real nice. I actually like them both a lot. So we're gonna have to see which one I like better and which one I'm gonna carry. But for this little gun, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I didn't want to even shoot it at all. But after swapping out the trigger shoe, I wanted to make sure that the fire control unit worked. So I shot maybe a couple hundred rounds. And it really wasn't that bad in this configuration. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I love the red dot. But I can barely get my pinky on here. And you can see I have nowhere to put my support hand at all. Like, I have nowhere to put my support hand. So I got to hold it mad weird. Of course it's snappy, but it really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. There's bigger guns than this that shot worse. This surprised me how, it wasn't exactly too unpleasant to shoot. So, this configuration, audio messed up, but quick rundown. Glock 45, having some Glock performance trigger issues, but I got the Polydat trigger shoe on there. Surefire X300 light. The Hollow Sun, I forget which one it is. Red dot. By the way, I got some cheap blacked out sights, and obviously the front one fell off while I was shooting. So don't cheap out on sights. But rifle works, magwell here, and the extended slide release from Glock store. That's a pretty setup. I just gotta figure out this. I think any dirtier, it's not gonna reset at all. But yes, let me see if I can try it again. Yeah, it's not wanting to snap. Oh, there we go. There we go. I wanted to get that on camera, but it's not wanting to snap forward on the reset. And that's a common issue that I heard a lot of people talking about. I thought switching out the trigger shoe would fix that, but it's getting dirty. So I'm going to have to figure something out. I might even switch triggers. So this is that setup. It was my favorite. What I don't like about it is the Glock performance trigger now, which I loved before. And just how thick it is. How thick it is for concealed carry. But not a bad configuration here once I swap out that trigger. And then my most popular, the one I carry the most, is this Glock 43X, which is what I have the most done to. The Hollow Sun 407K red dot. I got the extended and raised slide release. The TLR 7 sub light. Polydat trigger shoe with a Ghost 3.5 pound trigger connector. The Shield Arms mag catch, Shield Arms magwell, and the Shield Arms Gen 3 15 round magazines. And a tier 1 concealed holster with a wedge. And that is that configuration right there. Easily concealable. And I can actually get, a decent grip on this. I'm not sure how they did this, but again, I can actually have somewhere to put my hands here. You see if I grab this, do you see? I don't know. I like that I can put my pinky on this, but I'm not sure. Yeah, almost carried. Things I don't like are the trigger. Again, I might swap it out. And probably the slide release. I don't know if I like it that raised, so we'll see. But for an EDC build, I mean, it's been really reliable. And maybe you could put a con as the aftermarket mags. Maybe you can put that as a con, but that one I have so many rounds through. And then P365, which will end up being an X macro, Siley Cat Pro red dot, the TLR 7 sub, which I got another light and holster coming, because the X Macro takes different lights and different holsters than the base does. But oh, and I got the M Carbo trigger shoe, so that's that. I have the 2 grip modules, Icarus, Wilson Combat. I'll be testing them both out. I'll be carrying them both. Again, tourniquet with a flashlight, just a little EDC tourniquet. I'm not going to go over this again. LCP 380. I think it's LCP 2 actually. I got my card holder, pepper spray, and then finally I got my Tier 1 concealed EDC S belt that is elastic, and it's amazing if you have back problems, but this one really helps conceal. You should really invest in a holster and a belt. This one really helps conceal anything. It makes it not even feel like I'm carrying, but this was like $120. Is it worth it? Probably not. You're probably fine going with the core X7 belt or something like that. That belt's really good, and it's half the price. I think it's 50, 60, 70. That belt is fine. But that is my EDC setups. Those are my EDC setups. Told you guys my future plans, what I liked, what I didn't like. Hopefully save you guys some money. Maybe, you know, put some inputs out there. Let me know which one you like the best. Let me know if you have any suggestions. And appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.